this is an auspicious video because why?
It is my first video.
It's about time.
Yes.
Yes, this is Cait's first video, and boy, is it going to be a doozy. Hey, welcome back to Thinking Out Loud. We're glad you're here. I'm Joel.
And I'm Cait.
And hello from Detroit. So, here's what we have today. We've got a pretty interesting case study to examine. We have often had brands reach out to us because they want influencers to help them rebuild their brand after they've suffered some kind of public disaster. So let's use a case study today.
Yes.
Let's use Wells Fargo.
Okay,
So
perfect.
tell us about Wells Fargo, tell us about what happened, what they've been doing, and then let's talk about whether influencers should be part of this.
Okay, sounds good. So Wells Fargo back in May launched a campaign called Reestablished in response to a massive scandal they had where their employees were coming up with new accounts under the names of their customers and basically ruining their credit and messing things up for customers across the country.
Not good.
People were pissed, so they came up with this new campaign called Reestablished, and it was there were print ads, there were commercials, it was everywhere, and it was basically a video saying we've been here forever, and we're being reestablished in 2018, and we want your trust back, kind of asking it flat out. A few weeks later, they had another scandal, and their CMO said, you know, this is what we talked about in the commercial. We will make mistakes. We're going to be proactive about it, but we did say that this was going to happen. So our commercial still stands, and we want you to trust us. And customers were like, we're not buying it. So the question is, moving forward,
So they need help.
They need help, and would Wells Fargo be a good candidate for influencer marketing?
Oh, that's a really good question. Okay, so let's take the should influencers do it component off the table. We'll talk about that in a second.
Right.
If assuming that Wells Fargo can find influencers that want to work with them, would it actually be a good candidate? Gosh, I would really say no. I would say no because we're talking about banking, and that's not really good content that's going to make it interesting. I would say there are any number of other companies that have been perhaps scandal-ridden and scandal-plagued. I like oil companies. Oil companies don't have a great reputation on social media. However, that makes sense for oil companies whose brand has been damaged to have an influencer, track them, show what they've done to clean it up, that kind of thing. It's really difficult to show visually what Wells Fargo is doing to correct their practices. What are we going to sit in a management meeting where it's like, hey, don't open up fake credit card accounts in the name of your customers? Like, that doesn't make for compelling content. So I don't think, just by the nature of what Wells Fargo does, I don't think they should be doing influencer marketing. But
yeah, I mean, you can take it that way. I also think you could set up a campaign where an influencer goes in and is online as a customer of Wells Fargo, and they set up in their new campaign, they basically said, we go through and if another account opens, we let you know and we alert you. I think an influencer could go online and say, hey, this is how the new site works. Yeah. I feel really safe. I'm a family person, I have kids, or this is my lifestyle, and I trust Wells Fargo. Kind of having influencers go out and say, this is me and I trust them, you should too, I think could make an impact, a small impact, but it would make an impact amongst that target audience that follow that influencer.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I think that probably would help. Now, let's get to the second question. Should influencers agree to work with companies who are very obviously doing brand damage control? What do you think?
I think that only if the influencer has a stake with the brand. So if they've said before, I use this brand for something, and then a scandal happens and they come back and say, you know what, I still trust them, I think that makes a difference. But coming out of nowhere after a scandal is kind of like you weren't a customer before and now you are after the scandal. I don't think that that's as believable.
What about not after a scandal, just a company that's kind of fallen out of favor or has kind of been skewered for you? So we're not talking about, something like ExxonMobil, right? This isn't the immediate aftermath of the Exxon Valdez oil spill in Alaska. This is years and years on, but Exxon, still, or BP after the Deepwater Horizon, right?
Okay.
Should influencers partner with brands who aren't, maybe not just scandal, but just generally don't have great brand perception?
I think it depends on how they want to come off. I mean, I think as we've talked to influencers and influencer insight, and who they pair with takes a toll on their personal brand. Yeah. So it depends, if they need to look at it from a personal standpoint. I think generally, I don't think it could be bad if they have a good stance on it and are coming from a good place, but if you're starting off as an influencer, don't have that much credibility, I wouldn't say to go with a brand that's in muddy waters.
You're going to put a lot on the line.
Yeah.
The other thing I would say is if influencers, if you are going to consider doing this, you have to be absolutely ironclad that you have 100% creative control. The company doesn't have any veto power whatsoever. They pay you before it goes live. After you maybe show the preview, but you are paid before it goes live, and you get to ask whatever you want. Like I think that's what's fair, is like, say, look, if you're going to traffic on my credibility and use that for you, you are going to give me complete 100% access to whatever I want. I get to ask whatever I want. I get to say whatever I want, as long as it's true, and you don't have any veto power over what I say and how I do it. I think under those circumstances, where the creator can honestly tell their audience, this is what I set up beforehand. I'm not a corporate flunky. It's an interesting company. They're trying to do interesting things. They've, and really become an actual brand ambassador where they can legitimately and authentically tell that company's story in their own voice. That, I think, becomes more interesting. Absent any of that, no, I agree with you. They're going to absolutely damage their reputation.
Right.
I don't think it's worth it.
Right.
I don't think it's worth it at all.
The influencer has to have almost total creative control within the bounds. In that case, I agree.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yep. Okay, well, that's it. Those are our thoughts on it.
Yes.
Creators, weighed carefully. Brands, don't be bad. Don't be in the need, in the place where you
don't
need
get in
influencers
trouble.
to dig you out. Well, don't do things that are worthy of getting in trouble.
Right.
Be better, brands.
Right.
Be better. All right, that's it. So long from Detroit. I'm Joel.
I'm Cait, and follow us on our Instagram, our Twitter,
goodness.
and our LinkedIn, and chat with us about what you thought about the video and what you want us to do videos about.
All right.
Thanks.
You heard it there. So long.
Bye.